I want to start on today's motivational Monday. Okay. So over the last 5 weeks, I've been sharing about some powerful and practical leadership distinctions that I learned while on the AsiaWorks leadership program. Hi Amos, good morning. Okay. And I've been consciously practicing these 6 distinctions over the last 18 years to determine my attitude, actions I take, and how I analyze things as a leader. We looked at distinction number 1, 100% is possible 100% of the time. This is the distinction of possibility. It's so exciting. And distinction number 2, if it is to be, it is up to me. This is the distinction of freedom. It's so liberating. Distinction number 3, life is an enrollment game. This is the distinction of duplication. So simple, it's automatic. Distinction number 4, teamwork, team players committed to a common vision. This is the distinction of leverage. So powerful. And last week we looked at distinction number 5, my vision and commitment dictate my actions, not my feelings, assessments, or evaluations. This is the distinction of intention. So enlightening. And as I introduced at the start, this is what got those people, those thousands of people, and in our group, maybe 20 people, and sticking it through 4 solid days of unleash potential within them. Okay. So, morning Sue, morning Jeff, Hui Suan, May, and all those who will be listening in. So today, I will talk about distinction number 6, the final leadership distinction. I honor my word with actions. This is the distinction of certainty. It's a done deal. Keeping your word is a principle almost everyone is taught from young. Yet, do you agree that this is a distinction that people break the most often? Not because we are all liars, but it's unconscious. It's like in a speech filler, where we say right, okay, completely unconscious until someone counts for us or someone shows us the replay. Okay. Why? Because we're unaware we made a commitment or promise in the first place. Let me give you an example about being on time. In the AsiaWorks basic training, remember the late confront? The participants agree to the ground rule to be on time. Those who are late for a session are held outside the room, and a staffer does a late confront. In a neutral attitude, in a neutral voice, staffer will ask, do you acknowledge you have a broken agreement? Agreement? Contract? Since when was that an agreement or contract? Let me share with you the definition of an agreement. Agreement is a negotiated and typically legally binding arrangement between parties as to a course of action. How many legally binding agreements do you have in your day, in your life? Very few. The rest are all not legally binding. So does that mean you can't be counted for everything? You can't be counted on for everything else in your life? Do you ever say you're going to do something and then I'll do it later, becomes never getting around to it? If you're like most people, you do this in small ways throughout your life, and while often unintentional, it actually comes at a cost. All this might seem harmless done once or twice, but little things done repeatedly have a big impact on our lives. Those of us who go into sales, like in network marketing, get a sudden shock when those closest to them, their family and friends, reject them. Most get so shaken that they quit. Why are they surprised? That's because we have not honored our word in many, many small areas, especially with those closest to us. They have very, very low certainty about us, but they forgive us and they love us, so they don't mention it. But it's registered. Every time you don't honor a commitment that you've made to yourself or someone else, it's a message to your subconscious and to the world around you that what you say can't be trusted, that your word doesn't mean much. It prevents you from achieving your goals and eventually causes people not to trust you or think you're full of shit. And just as bad, you lose respect for yourself. Theodore Roosevelt said, "I care not what others think of what I do, but I care very much about what I think of what I do." That is character. I want to share with you some words from his psychologist, Dr. Marlowe Archer. He says, "There's very little in this world that you can control. You cannot control other people. You can't control what others think of you. You can't control what decisions other people make, and you can't control how other people think. You can, however, control what you choose to say, and you should choose your words very carefully." When you tell someone that you're going to do something, you should follow through and do that thing unless some outrageous emergency prevents you from doing so. And if something urgent comes up, you should immediately let those who are depending on you know you will not be able to come through with what you said you were going to. When you repeatedly say you're going to do this or that, but you rarely follow through, people will learn that they can't really trust you and you will lose their respect. Sometimes people say they will do things because they don't want to disappoint others by saying they can't do it or that they don't want to do it. However, when that person turns around and doesn't actually do what he or she said they were going to do, I think it's much more disappointing to the person they promised it to. The person would rather just be told he or she doesn't plan to do it, and that way that person will find someone else to ask. And when I say doing it, I actually mean doing it properly, because you can do a half a dust job which is absolutely useless, just doing it to say you're doing it, but actually you haven't done it. So your word is about all you have that you can really count on. Make sure others can count on you too. Some of the reasons we don't keep our word include we don't realize that we've made or implied a promise. Okay, I discussed that earlier. We forget what we've said. We get sidetracked by other events. We lose enthusiasm when we realize that keeping our word is harder than we expected. Like when we make declarations about GSV. Okay? We haven't allowed enough time, or we have a scheduling conflict, or we lack the power to do what we said we do. So I want to share with you 5 pointers if you want to improve your promise keeping. Actually, I before preparing for this talk, I never thought that actually we can work on improving our promise keeping. Okay, but here are 5 pointers. 1, be organized. By that I mean record it in your schedule or in your diary. The other way to be more organized is have a shorter do list. Okay, don't have millions of things. Okay? Have a shorter do list, priority do list. Secondly, be motivated. It's easier to do something you want to, you're passionate about. Okay? Habit 2 says begin with the end in mind. Okay? So you decide what your program is. What is it that you want to have and be doing? Third way to improve your promise keeping, be honest. Okay? That's habit 3, first things first. You know what your priorities are, and if someone asks you to do something that isn't within your priority and you don't want to do it, say no. Okay? Or say, I can't do it. I'm not able to do this. This is, I can't be your third team member in a triathlon doing swimming when I can't swim. Okay? Number 4, be principled. Okay. What are your principles? What are your values in life? Remember, in habit 1, we focus on finding out what your values and principles are that form your character. Okay, so be principled and realize how important maybe your word is, or honesty is, okay, or keeping an agreement is. Number 5, be apologetic. So if you do make a mistake, and we all will break our word sometimes, okay, not honor our word, okay, apologize to that person for messing up their schedule. Okay? And this is habit 5. Seek first to understand. Try to understand the impact of what you've done or not done on someone. Okay, let's I want to talk about 3 simple steps to honoring your word. Okay, first, learn to say no. Okay? Say no to everything that's not aligned with your essential priorities. Okay? You can't do everything, and you can't do everything well. Number 2, honor commitments made to yourself. Okay, so number 2 is honor commitments made to yourself. If you can honor the commitments you've made to yourself, it will be much easier to honor the commitments that you've made to others. Okay? And you make so many more commitments to yourself, so you have a lot of opportunity to practice. Okay. Third step, honor commitments made to others. Okay, so first, learn to say no, honor commitments made to yourself, then honor commitments made to others. Now the distinction says honor your word with actions. Okay, what is the difference between honor your word with actions and honor your words with action? You'll say there's no difference, but let's look at honor your word with actions. It's word, it's singular. That means yes or no is enough. Okay, don't tell me long stories, lots of words. No long stories. Don't need many clauses of fine print to protect yourself. So yes or a no is enough. Second thing, they use the plural actions. To me, it suggests do whatever it takes to deliver results. Do whatever it takes. I may have to take many actions. Try again and again. Okay, so do whatever it takes to deliver results versus I tried. You know how we hate the word try? I'll try to do this, I'll try to do that. Well, okay. So we can see how useful this distinction is for everyone in everyday life, because it really, we are making promises to people all the time. Everyone is doing that every day. But what about in leadership? Because this is a leadership distinction. Well, the good news is that the great majority of people will not work diligently to honor their word with actions. Okay, the majority of people will not work diligently to honor their word with actions. So that's the reason why I love MLM. 95% of people will quit because it's hard work initially, and more than 95% of people will not bother to work to honor their word with action. So if I do that, if I want to be outstanding and I want to lead others, this surely is a distinction to master, because I will stand out. Okay. What certainty do I give others? What certainty do I give others? A manager deals with the known. Okay, there's a known procedure, he follows the procedure, but a leader deals with the unknown. How will I enroll people into the unknown unless I can provide certainty? So in challenges, especially in big, hairy, audacious goals, people are looking at me and asking me, will you honor your intentions and your declarations? When you say, it's distinction number 3, life is an enrollment game, you say, follow me. Will you honor your intentions and declarations so that I can follow you? Will you live distinction number 1? 100% is possible 100% of the time. Will you live distinction number 2? If it is to be, it is up to me. Will you play team? Teamwork, team players committed to a common vision, or will you abandon us for your individual feelings or whatever you want to do? Will you succumb to your feelings, assessments, or evaluations? As we say in distinction number 5, my vision and commitment dictate my actions. Okay. So as a leader, I need to provide uncertainty. I need to provide certainty when it's the unknown. Okay. So you will give certainty to others if you practice this in all the small areas of your life. Okay. Now this is a secret to success. It's a secret to success because just a declaration will make your dream a reality, because you have programmed yourself to honor your word with actions. You have programmed yourself to honor your word with actions. The moment you say something, it's a done deal. Let me end with a story. Okay, it's a story which we've heard before, but it's worth repeating. Hui Xuan sold 1,900 copies of her book, Mind Matters, in 1 month just before Christmas. How did it happen? We got multiple orders, 20 copies, 30 copies, 50 copies, from people who wanted to give them away as Christmas presents. Now, they needed to have trust that we would have the books ready in time. So I got the books ready 2 weeks ahead of schedule. And I used the same printer I had used in the past. I didn't hold tenders or compare quotes, because this printer was someone who has honored his word with actions in the past. Okay. I was a repeat customer. And I'm sure if Hui Xuan wants to write her next book, she will ask me first to publish for her. I hope at that time I'm not too busy. Okay, so that's it for today. Okay, last leadership distinction. I honor my word with actions. And for those of you, Anthony Robbins, I'm sure this will be a powerful way you will achieve the goals that you've set for yourself.